My guest today, I'm very excited about, is Malcolm Lewis Adams from Compass. And just to give you a little background on Malcolm, he is a Brooklyn native. Stop me if if I'm off on anything.
Specifically Bushwick.
There we go. There we go. All right. And Malcolm served in the U.S. Marine Corps and worked in the fashion industry for many years, the publishing business. And then since joining the real estate game, he's made over $90 million in sales, and we're delighted to have him. Welcome, Malcolm.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
We have several pending sales too.
Oh, there you go. So we can adjust the number a little bit. Excellent. So I look through bios all the time of brokers to try to find guests, and there's a higher standard for brokers from other companies. And so when I saw your bio, I thought, I have to get this guy on the show, but we'd never met until today. But you have a very interesting story, and maybe you could just tell us a little bit about it and about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you. Appreciate that. I grew up in Bushwick, Brooklyn in the 60s, single mom and a brother and a younger sister. And I started out, I was an art director for a clothing company for many years. Well, actually, I started out as an art director for a publishing company. And that was several years directly after school, it was incredible. We created professional textbooks where I would design covers and interiors. And this is back in the old days. We had to do line code.
No AI to work with.
No AI. You have to write your own copy. So you have to be fluent in English, not like the abbreviated language, And it was awesome. It felt like God's work. We were creating textbooks for, early versions of Alzheimer's and, kids with dyslexia and so forth. So I would have to create artwork to reflect that stuff. And it was really important work. The problem is it paid nothing. Publishing pays no money. And so I stayed there for like 5 years, and then I got a gig as a art director for a fashion company, which paid 3 times the money. It was awesome, and it was jet setting. It just felt a little vapid. But I was able to live with that for a couple of years because we had a good time. And then out of the fashion experience, which was pretty awesome too, I transitioned into real estate.
Great. And you were in the service right out of school?
Yeah,
or before?
That's another crazy thing too. For me, the service, I needed to get out of the house. I mean, we got multi-generational living in our house. I have a huge family. My mom has like 17 brothers and sisters. So we had cousins coming up from Alabama all the time, which I love. I adore them. But the house is just full. Even to this day, my brother, my wife, his kids, blah, blah, everybody's
a lot going on.
A lot going on. So the very millisecond I graduated from high school, I was out. And, you have no skills, so the first thing you have to do, I joined the service. This is weird. I joined the Army first. I was in the Army as a combat engineer first. So I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, so you got this Brooklyn kid at Fort Leonard Wood, close to Canada. It was freezing.
A little bit of a culture shock.
Oh, my God. And very Midwest. But it was the best experience. I loved I was in the Army for like a year and a half. But when I got assigned to my unit in New York, I didn't like it. And there were some other reasons too. So I ended up transferring out of the Army, joining the Marine Corps. So I'm probably the only person that you've ever met that went through boot camp twice.
Wow.
Because the Marine Corps won't take you unless you go through that boot camp. So I lost a stripe and went through boot camp twice.
So is there a rivalry?
The craziest rivalry. See, you're tapping into it. See, I was trying. My brother is a Marine too. And so I joined the Army, and to one-up me, he joined the Marine Corps.
He thought he was going to one-up you.
So then I was like, nah, we're not doing that. So I joined the Marine Corps. It was the best thing. We were in the same battalion. I served about 8.5 years. I think he did as well. And we, ironically enough, went to the Gulf War together too. So we served in the first Gulf War. And in the same battalion. I was communications. He was headquarters. We got blessed. There was no Saving Private Ryan back then. They put both of us out there, you know what I'm saying? But once you survive the experience, it was the best experience.
I can imagine coming back to civilian life must have been an adjustment.
It was. I was reserved for most of my time. The only real active time was the boot camps and the schools and the 5 months that active. in the service.
Right.
All the other times I was simultaneously in the military and simultaneously at college and working. I mean, I had to do whatever I can do, man. I had to eat.
You didn't get a lot of free time.
No.
Like.
It was grinding, man. It was grinding. But like I said, it was the military was a backup plan for me because, to be honest with you, I got accepted to Pratt out of high school. And I did art direction, graphic design. What is that? You know what I'm saying? This was the 70s, was the late 80s. And I didn't know any of that. So I said, I better have a backup plan. So if I get my bachelor's degree and the art direction thing doesn't work, I become an officer, I'm a Marine Corps, a lieutenant or something, or a captain. So that was my backup plan. But everything went so well professionally that I was able to just do my time and phase out.
And so you've always been interested in art. It's always something that you've appreciated and had a knack for.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was the silver medal of art winner in high school, so I thought I was the man. But when you get to Pratt, they curate the best artists on earth. So when I got there, even to this day, I just turned 60. Even to this day, I have imposter syndrome at Pratt because everybody was so good, everybody was awesome, and I was just okay. So my blessing was that when all the technology came out, I adopted the technology like you wouldn't believe. And since I was, I was so smart and I adopted the technology, hardcore Apple computer enthusiast, that I was able to convert easier. So everybody was more talented, but I was much more academic inside this art world. So that was my blessing. But if I had to live on just being an artist, no, I'd have went to the Marine Corps. I'd have stayed there.
But it shows right away that you were pretty resourceful. You knew what you had to do, and you knew what you wanted, and what it would take to be successful.
Absolutely. I mean, all of it. It's a winding road because one of the reasons I accepted this invitation because I think the origin story of brokers is so interesting.
The best.
We sit down and we talk to people, and you get people that come from banking and people that used to be actors and models and so forth, and they find this winding road. And I think part of the reason you chose me is no road winds more than mine.
Your road winds way around New York City and up and down and over the top.
Exactly. So I just think that's such a great platform to be able to express. Ultimately, it's the sphere of influence and your experience that helps you to service your clients. And so hopefully all of this experience allows me to stay focused and disciplined and empathetic when I'm serving the client.
Great. So tell us about your time in the fashion industry. What did you do and what was that like?
That was the best. I worked for a company called the Moray Group, which is, you don't know that company, that's like the parent company, but all the cool brands that we worked for, we did Norma Kamali and Spalding and Jockey and To Exist men's underwear. We did all the cool brands. And my job was to do all the packaging and all of any artwork related, anything that's unrelated to the design of the clothes, I had to do the artwork for and manage the artwork for. So I would do artwork for the interior stores. So you would walk through, JCPenney, and my artwork was all over the walls. And you would go, I once had a Jockey poster in Times Square. So I created artwork that promoted the clothes. And it was the best job ever. I stayed with them for 24 years, and I loved them. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for COVID, I'd probably still be there. COVID, they did a big realignment. And, you get an opportunity to flush out some of the old blood and get a new blood. 24 years is a good run. I still love them. Jewish company, they embrace me like family. So I have like a Jewish name, Malachi.
Malachi.
I went to sit and shiva and bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs, and I adore them to this day. We're still really good friends to this day. So it was great. Art direction all over the country.
Sometimes when I talk to people, they are in different careers and they have burned bridges here and there, but it sounds like you haven't burned any bridges.
No, we're still very good friends. I got married when I worked there. I had my kids with them. They stabilized my life, so I was able to build my first real estate investments through them. They even assisted a little bit with that. And so I have nothing but love and respect for them. And the job was awesome. I traveled the country. I had to do marketing events, so we would do conventions, and I created the artwork for the conventions. So we created women's underwear, men's underwear, activewear, so fashion shows, everything. So it was like the best job. It paid well, and the best experiences. Luckily, there was no internet. The internet wasn't mature back then. So a lot of that stuff is here.
I don't know how mature it is now, but
it's not that mature. No, we're talking about, yes, I know what you mean. It is, but it was the best experience. And I think that part of the reason I'm such a great salesperson is because of that experience. Because when you're the art director, when you're dealing with all the different retailers, Kmart and all the big retailers, Macy's, it's all selling. You know, when we create the artwork and we're like, why is this artwork going to work? They need somebody to sell it. So
right.
It's the designers and it's the art directors who prepare it, say, we think it's going to work. This is the trend, blah, blah, blah. So all of that experience is directly related to my real estate business.
We'll be right back after this minute. A word from our sponsors.
I'm Brian Scott Cohen, one of the top loan originators in the country and the #1 mortgage originator at Guaranteed Rate Infinity. Guaranteed Rate Infinity arguably has the most advanced tech in the industry. Our completely digital loan process makes it easy and efficient for homeowners, from a 15-minute pre-approval to the digital application and through closing. My team and I would love to help you get into the home of your dreams.
Hi, I'm Dylan Pachulik, CEO of XL Real Property Management, New York's most trusted name in luxury property management since 2012. We specialize in managing individual apartments, townhouses, and rental buildings held by absentee owners. We maintain our properties with the highest standards of quality and service so that owners can choose a hassle-free approach to real estate investing. Rented or owner-occupied, we handle it all. For more information, contact us at xl-rpm.com.
So you knew you were a good salesperson. You have the gift of the gab.
Yes, sir.
There's some talk in the real estate business. Is real estate sales? Because you can't really sell a person on their home. How do you approach, and you're obviously somebody who takes really good care of your clients. How did your time doing those previous jobs play into your time as a real estate agent?
Yeah, you know, that's very interesting that you said that, because you're right. You can't really sell. Oftentimes the people know or they don't know what they want, and the budget dictates it and all that kind of stuff. Oftentimes it's a matchmaker. It's like being, you know, like you're a dating coach, right? I have access to the inventory. One of the blessings of being in the business is there's some inventory that doesn't go live to the market. So we have all of that inventory, and we distill the inventory too, right? So oftentimes somebody comes to me and they say, I want this, that, and the other thing, but I know you. We've had dinner together. We've had coffee together. I think this will work better for you. This is a better investment. This is a better place for your where you want your kids to be raised and so forth. So it's more like being a matchmaker, and being able to articulate that, because part of selling is being able to articulate the positives or the negatives of why something works. And so even though we may not be selling them specifically on the property as much as we're selling them on why it's a good investment for them and why they can get a return.
Right. I spent a couple of years being one of those salesmen in Times Square selling comedy tickets.
Oh, nice.
So that's sales at its most base level. But when you get into real estate, it's a different thing, like you said, because you're comparing different homes, and your client is either your seller or your buyer. So I feel like the job is often to really educate them, and so that they can come to the more informed decision. And I try not to give my opinion too much, because I don't want to. There's a lot of talk in the industry, and people get a bad rap because brokers, their perception is often that we are salespeople who are aggressively pushing a particular property. And in general, I don't think that's the case at all. I think brokers are very devoted to their customers. And so I always try to keep that in mind, that it's sales, but it's much more than sales. It's therapy. It's advising.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's really what it is. We have to comfort people. We have to be We have to advise them. Ultimately, it has to be their decision. It can't be, you have to buy this. I think no. It has to be their decision because they have to live with the consequences of the decision, right? Once the deal closes, I'm going to follow up. I'm going to be there I'm going to always be there for my clients, but you have to live with the consequences. So I don't want to be, I'm never pushy. Mm-hmm. I really, really see myself as a consultant. I help you go through, especially you and I talked earlier, the bigger deals you're dealing with experienced investors and it's analytical and that's usually easier. It's just the deal works or it doesn't, it cash flows or it doesn't, right? But when you're dealing with people that are spending $1 million in New York, which is middle class, and it's everything they have on earth, we have to give them comfort. We have to give them protection. We have to look out for them. Make sure they get that inspection. Even though the inspection may blow up the deal, we have to make sure that they're aware of the condition of the property and protect them. And so, no, it's not just sales. It's everything in what we facilitate the deal. Ryan Serhant, who I love a lot, I've read his books and so forth. Ryan once said that somebody has to be committed to the deal. Right? Some people are committed to buyers and sellers, and some people have other agendas. Somebody has to be committed specifically to the deal. So my job is to facilitate the deal, protecting my client, but facilitating the deal. Mm-hmm. And the lawyers don't do that. They do their function, and the title company does their function. You and I sometimes have to be there with the appraisals. And here's our comps too, to make sure that it appraises right. And so I'm committed to the deal, facilitating the deal.
I've seen a lot of deals where you're looking at emails going back and forth, and often between attorneys, and people are already misreading context in emails. And I can slowly see the deal going south as it becomes a matter of egos, one party not really understanding the other. And I kind of feel like that's where we as brokers have to jump in and help each side understand the other side, and it's not a personal, no animosity. Right. Here are the issues. What can we do to resolve them?
Absolutely. The one of my dear friends, Sarah Golan, I adore her. She had a post the other day, and she was talking about the importance of a phone call. Right, mm-hmm. Like. We think that we just communicate with our voices, but we don't. There's tone, there's inflection, there's context. And when we're here in person, there's body language. There's a bunch of other ways that we communicate that show that we care, that we're concerned, and so forth. And so all the emails are just so that people can say, well, I said on this date the inspection was this, right? But a lot of times you have to call people and say, listen, it's not that bad, that we can have that fix for $100,000, like $1,000. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes if you talk to people, you can smooth over and you can facilitate transactions instead of being very antiseptic behind this wall of emails and texts and so forth. So the phone call is everything.
And texts in particular these days, and there are people who will only text. And it's frustrating for me because I don't really get a handle on what someone's thinking.
Right.
Even something like I text you, we're on the 10th floor, not the 9th floor, my mistake.
Right.
And I send a text like that, and there are people who get upset even at that.
Right.
You didn't tell me it was the 10th floor, and they think that my tone is
direct.
What are you doing on the 9th floor? Come on up to the 10th floor. So,
absolutely right. We have to talk. It's the lost art of conversation is so important. I take clients out all the time, other brokers out that I hope to do business with all the time. We sit down, we have a cup of coffee, have a bagel or something, and talk and really communicate with each other. I think that's very important, and that's part of the business.
And it's a part that I love. I love going into the office and just checking in with my friends, my colleagues that I work with, my sales director. How are you finding the market? Do you have any 2 bedrooms coming up on the east side? That kind of thing. And I feel like since COVID, we've lost a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. And I always try to go into the office every day just to see people.
Absolutely. COVID, that was the thing. COVID, it let us know that we can work from home, but I think we're too separated. I believe, one of the things I loved about the Marine Corps, I'm a big sports fanatic. I'm out of control. I'm a Jet fan, which is, I'm dying right now. But
well, I won't tell you what team I root for.
Or there'll probably something in Boston. I don't want to talk about it.
But I was a fan, going back to Steve Grogan, Jim Plunkett, so I paid my dues.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I'm a humongous Met fan, so I'm thankful of Boston because we won our only championship through
what
that.
What time is it? Is it
right? But I'm a big proponent of teamwork. My manager at Compass, she's incredible, and she's always given me so much love about how I would love to be part of all the parties and when we have classes. Instead of doing it online, I like to do it when we're all together. I think that's important to building teamwork and to building the right culture at a company. And so the internet is fine, and we can do the Zoom, and that has functionality. But once a month, twice a month, let's get together. Let's smell each other's cologne, right?
Yeah. And I was amazed because I've worked in so many different offices, so many types of jobs. And when I came to first Halstead and now BHS, I had sales directors and have sales directors that I both liked and respected, who always had my back. And I've had a lot of managers who I liked. I've had a lot I've respected. Not that many that I can say I liked and respected them.
Right.
And now it's just it's amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the people. I mean, I'm at a great company. Brown Harris was a consideration when you're looking around. I mean, this is a legacy brand, so obviously it was one of the considerations. But like I said, I'm a tech guy. And so that at the end of the day, that was the reason I chose my company. But the community is so small, and it's imperative that we have an open door policy, no matter where the brand is, because you're going to have the listing that my client adores, and we're going to have to do business. So we're at the end of the day, we're a brokerage family, all of us.
It really is, and I love if I'm bringing a buyer to a listing. I love when I see someone I know on the listing, because I know if it comes to doing a deal together, it's going to be cordial, it's going to be straightforward and honest. And those of us who have been around for a while, we all kind of know each other and respect one another.
Absolutely, absolutely. At this point, for me, I know everybody.
Yeah.
And I'll pull somebody aside. Once again, we'll do coffee. Especially, I'm in Williamsburg now. That's where I'm based out of the Williamsburg office, and that is the coolest, funkiest, artsy. You can see all my Pratt heritage comes out because I'm in that neighborhood, looking at the art on the walls, on the ground, and Bushwick too. My family, we still own a home in Bushwick, and Bushwick is nothing more. It's an art palette in Bushwick. So that's my whole thing. So I have people come out. We do the shoreline, have a little light lunch and so forth, and it's the best way to connect with other brokers.
It's also when I go home at the end of the day, there are days when we have a lot of paperwork to do and things to catch up on. Nothing makes me feel better than when I've spent the day interacting with colleagues, other people from other companies, buyers, sellers, just people out there in the world. I come home and I feel like I've had a great day.
Absolutely.
Even when things don't always go 100% smoothly.
Absolutely.
You're still very involved in Bushwick and your community and people you grew up with. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I actually should be more involved. I was more involved early on, but now I'm like so focused on business. It's like sort of taking up a lot of my time. So, I do a lot of donations. I do running. I'm a real fitness enthusiast, so I do a lot of 5K runs all over the city. And those 5K runs are always used to donate. It's for educational purposes. I'm going to do one. There's a 9/11 one that's around where the towers were, and I have a T-shirt that says Sergeant of Marines, and I do my little 5K.
But doesn't everyone expect you to be really fast? We're about the same age, and I know sometimes I think I'm pretty fast, but I'm not as fast as I think I am, and I'm not as fast as I used to be.
I think just like you, I only want to finish. I'm only about finishing. Yeah. The race is only with me. Like I said, I just turned 60 in December. And I think I probably beat out all the 60-year-olds. But everybody else, I'm very modest. I run probably a 10-minute mile you know.
Pretty good.
And so
A lot of 20-year-olds would like to do
yeah,
that.
I know exactly. So, you know, and as I get older, I'm super blessed. I don't smoke anymore. I haven't smoked in 30 years. I used to smoke when I was in the Marine Corps. Yeah. But no smoking, no drinking, none of that stuff. I try to eat very well, run every day. And so we do a lot of those types of events, and they donate to a lot of the charities. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Yo, brothers, yo. And so I'm not as active as I should be. I know a couple of people, they're going to be looking at this going, "Bro, I haven't seen you at a meeting in like 6 months, so I'm sorry." But we do a lot of donations. We give out scholarships. So a lot of times our donations go to giving scholarships to kids in college. We're big on college attendance. We give out food to the needy. So it's for me, it's par for the course. If you're blessed with this life, if you're able to make a living in real estate and you're able to just enjoy this beautiful city, it's the least you can do. So absolutely, it's one of the pillars of my business model.
It's very refreshing because I think one of the things that TV shows have done is people's perceptions of brokers are, even the brokers on the show who are not really like how they're portrayed on the show. They're a lot more interesting and multifaceted. But there's a perception that we just open a door to a fancy apartment and cash a big paycheck. And that's definitely not the case. Most brokers I know are go a little deeper than that.
Absolutely. Oftentimes, I mean, I love reality show. I mean, reality TV. I mean, MTV and all these companies that produce it. It has a place. You know, it's not my favorite. It's not the thing that I consume all the time. But I get its place. It helps promote our business, and any promotion is good promotion. The problem is that it makes caricatures of agents. And I know many of them. Most of them are personal friends of mine, not tertiary friends. Owning Manhattan and all these other shows, $1 Million Listing. Some of them I know personally, and it's all caricatures of what we are.
Right.
And they're selling 1% properties. You're selling an apartment for $100 million. I mean, none of us are gonna. That's not the business. The business is dealing with people day to day.
Relationships.
We're dealing with a father who's a cop. The mom is a nurse. They have 2 kids. They scraped every dollar they have to get this $1.2 million home somewhere in Flatbush or somewhere in Bed-Stuy. And then they're not going to be appreciative of you coming in, fabulous, Prada. They're not going to be appreciative of that. It's gonna be an affront to them, right? And so, and I know most of these people. That's not how they are in real life. And so, I don't want to offend anybody. I think that if that's your business, more power to you. Do that. My business is $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Where in New York, that's upper middle class, and that's right there at semi-rich or whatever, and they need your attention. They need 100% of your focus, and they don't need any of your glammed out. They don't need any of that. And so I try to be that. I want to be a consultant for that person because that's going to be 90% of our transactions. I've done big deals before. I hope to do big deals in the future. But 90% of my deals is New Yorkers, and even outside of New York. I have a contract in Florida now. I have 2 listings in Pennsylvania. I closed the deal in California. So, but all of these are upper middle class people making ends meet and relatable people. And so I loved it. I love the business. I have no problem with any of the reality TV. I love it, love it, love it. I watched every episode of $1 Million Listing New York, every episode. But that's not the business. The business is us on the ground.
I did read that you had a $9 million sale recently that you had a good time with. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. So man, that was hard. That was difficult too. It was 318 22nd Street in Chelsea. It was a 22-unit petite hotel, and it was beautiful and historic. It was a historic landmark, and it turns out it was the headquarters for the gay men's health crisis. So just a stunning building with all kinds of great history. So my buyer was an international buyer, and he was they're looking for an asset to convert into like not Airbnb, but it was like a luxury version of Airbnb. And so this place was perfect, and it had the provenance that would be a great way to sell to this clientele, and that community too. This place had so much deep history, had a plaque out front, and we found out after we were immersed in the due diligence that it was where they, back in the old days, when people got AIDS, there was no place for them to go, like if it was terminal, right? There's no hospice for them. So this place was hospice for terminal AIDS patients.
Wow. We all remember the 80s.
Exactly. So it was a place for them to go to live whatever life they had left with humanity. And then once somebody passed on, it was given to someone else. I mean, it was such incredible history. And it was about their, the civil rights for that community in this city, which echoes out from the city. I mean, this was the flashpoint, but it echoed out across the country. And so it's just so cool to be part of that history. And that's one of the reasons I love this business. Almost all these homes have something like that. And that's super dramatic. But sometimes it's just, I sold a house where a famous family, I forget their name, but they were like JCPenney, like a famous family like that. They owned the house. And we found all of the records that they own. So that kind of history is so cool. That's an ancillary benefit of this business.
It's amazing. And you walk into so many apartments and just seeing how people live is part of the fun.
Absolutely.
So we'll go a little rapid fire here.
Sure.
Do you have any famous relatives?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is real polarizing.
That was a little bit of a setup.
Yeah, I know, a little bit of a setup. But my first cousin was the former mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. I know he's a polarizing figure now, but he was a great public servant for many, many years. He was a police officer, senior police officer. He was a legislator in the city for many years. And the Adams family, we love and adore him. Our family is originally from Alabama. So we have 150 acres of land in Alabama, rural. And to have the spawn from that place, in the shadow of slavery and the shadow of Jim Crow South, to make it from that place, Uncle Leroy, to become the mayor of the most important city on earth, as far as I'm concerned, it was a great thing. And so it didn't end the way we had hoped. I'm sure it didn't end the way he had hoped. Politics aside, it was an incredible achievement. The family loves him, respects him, and I'm cheering for him, whatever he has going on next. I wish him the best.
Great stuff. I remember following his career in the early 90s when he was a law enforcement officer and he was building organizations, and you could tell that he was.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the pivotal part. You're referring to 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, which is sort of like a union inside of the police department. And the thing that's a blessing with my family is we're all sort of connected to the city, like immersed, because we've been here since, my mom got here. I was born in 65, so she probably got here in 60, something like that. And, my brother is a 30-year police officer, David Jones. He is incredible. He's a 9/11 cop. Eric was a police officer for many years. We have plenty of police officers. My cousin, who's a social worker, and my sister, my mom work for transit. So we're immersed in the city. We're like part of the mortar of in between the bricks. And so it's really, really cool to have be a contributor in that regard. So we're proud of Eric. We're proud of my brother, and all of our people, law enforcement and fire department. We love them all. We love them.
Great. So what's your favorite restaurant?
Well, I'm a big foodie. I love going to all the different restaurants. My wife gets mad at me because I don't have the best palate. Right? I'll go to all the great restaurants and eat the same thing. Give me the steak because But I love Red Rooster. I go up to Harlem. I do deals in Harlem all the time, and so I'm at Red Rooster. It's just cool and funky, a great hang. We have near my office is a great little French restaurant. I hope I'm saying it right, Claudette. is right around the corner from my office. So when you come to Williamsburg, I'm going to take you there for lunch. So those are two of my favorites.
Great. And what would your ideal weekend be?
Well, that's a twofold question because I'm doing open houses and stuff every weekend. So ideally, it would be having a well-attended open house where a bunch of people attend and we get a great bunch of interest, and I get a bunch of offers, and then I before going home and sorting the offers, I'll go to the sports bar and have a quick meal and yell at the TV because the Jets are losing or whatever.
They got a lot of draft picks coming up.
There you go. There you
the
go.
Future is
he sounded a little
bright.
facetious when he said that.
No, I know. I followed all those trades.
Aaron Glenn, who's my head coach, I love you, Aaron. You got to get better. I love you, love you, love you. Got to get better. And so that's one way. But I'm a big beach guy too. As I get older, I want to stay near the water, and so we have some okay beaches here in New York. So going to Rockaway Beach or something like that, hanging out with friends and family. That's two of my ideal weekends.
So my final question is this. We're all getting a little older. As you look back, what would you like to think would be your enduring legacy?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. I am, I'm a husband, I'm a father. I think it's important for us to financial literacy and with kids, it needs to start earlier in all communities. I'm involved with a group now where we do these panels where we're helping people, Black and brown communities in particular, but all people, about learning about real estate early, about savings and stocks and bonds and scaling businesses and so forth. So financial literacy is big for me. And one of my big passions now is affordable housing. It's crisis mode. I do a lot of great rentals, and I get a lot of people who are really desperate and they can't afford the properties that I'm renting, and they're really desperate and they need help. And I would love to be in some way to be able to reform the affordable housing method here and the politics of it all. It needs to be changed. I love the new mayor. I love the new mayor. I think he has a good heart. I'm not quite convinced that the method that he's proposing is the way to go. I think it needs a gut reform, and I think there's ways that we can provide more housing than we are. So I would love to do that. Do developments that would be affordable housing, green, and we can create a whole community where we can help people clear their credit and help them evolve into the middle class as well. So that's a big question. I've answered a lot of stuff.
Well, we'll have to have a part two.
Yeah, part two.
For the rest of that. So this has been great. It's really been a pleasure meeting you and having you on the show, and I'm looking forward to lunch in Williamsburg.
Absolutely. Open invitation.
Open invitation, and that goes out to
Absolutely. I'll have the cologne for you.
Well, thanks again. And do you want to give your contact or how people can reach you?
Yes. I am Malcolm Lewis Adams. I am an associate broker, team lead at Compass. My office is out of Williamsburg, but I sell all over Metro New York City. And you can call me, you can email me at malcolm.adams@compass.com, or you can friend me on Instagram, that would be really cool. Malcolm Real Estate. Malcolm Real Estate. MALCOLM Real Estate. And that's it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. My name is Joe Ulam with Brown Harris Stevens. This is Becoming Brokerage, and we look forward to seeing you at the next episode.
What do you really need to know about buying or selling a home? First, it's serious business, and it's complicated. There's a lot of money on the table, and emotion, too. You need an agent who knows the ropes. So, whether you're buying or selling your home, work with professionals who have a mastery of the craft.